Nation, and welcome to a new episode of the Top 10. So this month it ends with us, a new romance film starring Blake Lively. And to be honest with you, it's not a movie I'm really interested in seeing. But because I was like, I really don't like these trailers. I don't think it's good. But the girlfriend, she wants to see it. And you know, sometimes you gotta make the girlfriend happy. And so this gives me a perfect excuse to talk about my favorite romance movies. This is another topic that I had done with Rating Cage a long time ago, and I've seen a lot more movies since then, so it's cool that I was able to look at the genre, because there's all kinds of movies. There's just action romance films, or just straight romance films, classic films, and there's rom-coms. So there's all kinds of different interesting movies, and it'd be fun to look back at that list, but I'm probably not going to do that. So here are my 10 movies that I put in my top 10 romance films. So my number 10 is Crazy Rich Asians. Crazy Rich Asians was a movie that it's set in like I forget what the town is, but it's basically about this girl. She's poor. She teaches economics, I believe, and she's dating this guy, and he's a crazy rich Asian. And basically, his friends is getting married, so he takes her home, and she realizes, holy crap, you're rich. And her family does not want to accept her, so he has to prove that he loves her and that they can find this way together, and she has to try to prove herself to his mom. I really like the movie. Crazy Rich Asians is a good one. It's a movie that I've seen a few times, and I feel like it gets better every time I watch it. And I really love how ethnically diverse the movie is, because that's the cast. This movie really shows how far we have come in movies, because 10, 15 years before that movie, we put Tom Cruise in the movie to make the movie happen. My number 9 is Wedding Crashers. Wedding Crashers is Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn. They crash weddings. They get free bar. They get to hook up with some girls. And basically, as the movie goes along, you find out Owen Wilson finds this girl that he really likes. Vince Vaughn hooks up with a crazy, I forget what her name is, but they end up in a happy couple. It's got one of the funniest Will Ferrell roles, which he's like, I like Will Ferrell in small doses, and Wedding Crashers is for me one of the perfect Will Ferrell movies, just because he's like, I crash funerals. There's a market there that people just do not know, but I really like this movie. I really like the journey that we go on. So yeah, I think Wedding Crashers is a good one. It's also got an asshole Bradley Cooper, really before Bradley Cooper became Bradley Cooper. My number 8 is Roman Holiday. Roman Holiday is a movie starring Audrey Hepburn, Gregory Peck. Audrey Hepburn is like a princess person who is visiting Rome for the day. She sneaks away from her entourage, and she and Gregory Peck hook up, where Gregory Peck knows who she is, but he's promises that he'll take her around Rome, but while trying to get an exclusive interview. And just the dynamic between the two characters is really cool. And Audrey Hepburn, I believe she won an Oscar for this film, is so good in this movie. And also just that relationship between her and Gregory Peck is great. I think Roman Holiday is just such a good one. It's one where they don't end up together, which is a theme in my favorite romance films. That sometimes you don't always have to end up together, but there's just a chemistry there. So I really like Roman Holiday. My number 7 is 500 Days of Summer. And 500 Days of Summer is a movie starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, directed by Mark Webb, and the movie is very big. It's very broad. It reminds me a lot of a Quentin Tarantino movie, because we're jumping all across a timeline, and it begins in a day 250, and then we go back. The only issue with the movie, looking back on it, is that we don't ever really get the Summers point of view. We only get Joseph Gordon-Levitt's point of view of the movie. But at the end, he meets fall the next or autumn the next month. But this movie's great, and it's once again, just because you don't end up with someone doesn't mean not going to live a unhappy and unfulfilled life. And I think 500 Days of Summer really goes through that and really tells a really cool story. And it's just such well directed by Mark Webb. And I love seeing movies that aren't conventional. And 500 Days of Summer, especially for a rom-com or romance film, it definitely fits in that mold. My number 6 is Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind is a 1930 movie starring Clark Gable, who, this movie is like epic. Like it's a Civil War movie. Yes, the movie probably doesn't look the best in a 2024 lens, but the romance between Clark Gable and Scarlett O'Hara's characters is great. And how she never really wanted to end up with him. She wanted to end up with another guy, but then she realizes that, man, this is the one I want to end up with. Tragedy hits. The way it kind of shows the South after the effects of the Civil War under Reconstruction was a very interesting part of this film. And also one of the greatest lines: "If a girl ever treated me that bad, I don't blame him for leaving." She goes, "Well, what about me?" She goes, "Honestly, my dear, I don't give a damn," and walks out. And then the movie about, so like, she's like, I will get him back because after all, tomorrow's another day. I think Gone with the Wind is a great one. My number 5 is Shakespeare in Love, and Shakespeare in Love is a movie that I really, really like. This is a movie that beat out Saving Private Ryan for Best Picture, and I actually do think this is a better film. The element of it is that we have Shakespeare. He is writing a play that eventually changes to Romeo and Juliet, and it's got a really great cast in the movie. But then you have it's got Gwyneth Paltrow, who is disguised as a man who wants to play, because back in that day, men played the women parts as well. So it made for a really great chemistry between Shakespeare and Gwyneth Paltrow's character, which is really cool. I really like this movie. My number 4 is The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride is a classic romance movie where it's about this guy. He goes off to try to make his fortune so he can get the love of Buttercup. Buttercup eventually gets engaged to a prince, but then he has Wesley comes back to try to win her back. The movie's so quotable. I mean, it's got revenge, it's got love, it's got action, and he's like, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepare to die." And then as you wish. And he's like, "Inconceivable! You keep using that word. I don't think it means exactly what you think it means. Good luck storming the castle!" This movie's got so many great quotes. Yeah, Princess Bride is great. I love it. My number 3 is When Harry Met Sally, and When Harry Met Sally is a great film. It is when people say, "What's your all-time go-to romance comedy?" People are going to say When Harry Met Sally. It's that they start as friends, they build this relationship, they love each other, and then that's basically your movie. I think When Harry Met Sally is great. The comedy is great. The Meg Ryan is at her finest. Meg Ryaness, and I think it's just a really good. My number 2 is La La Land, and La La Land is a movie that came out in, I believe, 2016, where I believe I had it at number 2 in my top 10 that year. I stand by that, but La La Land is such a good film. It's a musical, which I love musicals. The story, the characters are great, where once again they don't end up together, but they live very happy lives and were able to live a very successful lives. And if they ended up together, they may not have got to achieve everything they wanted to achieve. The music's great. City of Stars, are you shining just for me? I mean, Ryan Gosling, love Ryan Gosling. I mean, Emma Stone is great. She won an Oscar for this film, but I think this movie is just incredible. It has to be my number 2. And my number 1 romance movie is Casablanca. Casablanca, to me, is a perfect movie. It is so quotable. The story, the drama, all the stuff going on with the World War II, because this movie came out in 1942, which, we hadn't entered the war, where Rick represents the United States, where we're isolationist. He doesn't want to get involved in anything, and at the end realizes he has to get involved into the action. And then you have the Nazi Germany's people that are trying to get this guy who represents freedom to the Jewish population, and then you have a great character of Claude Rains, who plays Louis, who is just great. So Gemlin, I am Paul Gemlin. You're winning, sir. Thank you very much. And then the great line at the end, he's like, Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. But also, like, the romance parts of I forget what the girl's name is, but she's great in the movie. But the relationship that she was in love with Rick, but realized that Laszlo was still alive, and that she should have probably ended up with Rick at the end, but she was like, but I love you. She goes like, yeah, I know, but one day you might regret it. And he goes, we'll always have Paris. And like there's like episodes, like an episode of Ted Lasso where it says we'll never have Paris, and it's just a great callback to Casablanca. Casablanca to me is a great film, and When Harry Met Sally references Casablanca. A lot of films reference Casablanca. And I think it's a great movie. It's a great Humphrey Bogart movie. It's a great cafe. It's a great movie. I love it. I have the poster hanging on my wall. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, so I absolutely have to put Casablanca as my number one. So guys, that ends another episode of the top 10 for this month. I'm curious to see what will be the topic for next month, because I really don't know what's coming out in September, but we'll find out when I find out. I might just pick a random topic and we'll go from there. Or I might skip a month and just keep them when actually month comes out. I haven't decided what I'm going to do, but it'll be interesting. So guys, what is your favorite romance movie? And are you looking forward to the movie coming out this month? I forget what it's titled, and I'm not going to look it up right now. So guys, where there are, comment below, let me know. And guys, you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends about Easy Nation, all too easy. Yeah, poop.